students, today we will be doing remaining exercises of the chapter The Blind Man and the Elephant. So are you ready for it? Here we go. Open your books at page number 25, Grammar Glee, Definite and Indefinite Articles. So students, this you have already studied that what are articles. Let me remind you once again. Articles are words that define a noun as specific or unspecific. Okay, so there are basically two types of articles, the and an. The is used to refer to specific or particular nouns, and an is used to modify non-specific or non-particular nouns. We call the definite article and an the indefinite article. Why? Because as the name is telling you, the is put in front of the nouns which are particular, which are definite, whereas an is used with the nouns which are indefinite, for which you are not particular. Okay, now you might also be knowing that articles work as an adjective because it is put in front of the noun. So the articles tell us more about the nouns. An are indefinite articles. They are used before nouns that are journal or which have been mentioned for the first time in a place of writing. If we are talking about any name and that is used for the very first time, we use the article a or an. As you know that a is used with the consonant sounds and an is used with the vowel sounds. How many vowels we have? We have 5 vowels. A, E, I, O and U. So with the sound of vowels, we will use an for the first time. And for the second time, we will use the. Now let us see where more this the is used. The is referred to as a definite article as the is used with the names of mountains, rivers, newspapers, oceans, seas and holy books. With these proper nouns, we are going to use the article the. Then the second point is the is used with the things that are only one of the kind. So the things that are one of its kind like Taj Mahal, Red Fort, the Ganga River, so that are one of its kind, we will use the. The is used with the things we have already talked about. And the third thing where the is used about the things that we have already talked about. For example, in a story you might have seen that whenever we begin a story, we say that once upon a time, there was a boy who lived in a jungle. So for the first time, we used a boy, a jungle. Now when we talk about the same person on the second time, we use the. The boy's name was Sham. So like this, when it is talked about for the second time, we will use the article the over there. Okay. Now let us complete the following sentences using a, an or the. The first one is, I always carry dash umbrella with the red stripe is my favorite one. Now as you can see in this sentence, in both the blanks, we have to give an article for umbrella. So as you know that the sound of is a vowel sound, so we will use for the first time and in the first blank. And when we are talking about the same umbrella for the second time, we will use the. So the umbrella, sorry, it's mistake over here. T should be capital because the new sentence is starting. So the umbrella with the red stripe is my favorite one. Now let us see the second sentence. Is dash man wearing a check shirt your brother? Now here I am asking somebody, is that man? That means I can see the man. I am pointing towards the man. Is that man wearing a check shirt your brother? So here I am definite about the person I am asking. So here I'll put the. Now let us see the third sentence. We saw dash ant carrying dash small piece of cake. As you can see, we are talking about ant and the sound is of vowel. So we are talking about it for the first time also. So we will be using an in with and. And carrying dash small piece of cake. Now here we are talking about a piece of cake, so it is an individual piece of cake. So what we will be using over here, a small piece of cake. Okay, in the fourth sentence, she bought some apples as she took bite of dash apple. Out of some apple she took bite of one apple. Now here we are not specific about which apple she took a bite, so for the first time we will be putting over here of an apple. From all the apples she took an apple. Okay, she found that dash apple was rotten. Now here we know that which apple was rotten, that she was eating, so here we will be using the. Okay, she found that the apple that she was eating was rotten. Now the next one is the children were left alone on dash island. So island, here you can see the here you can hear, here is a vowel sound, and with first time when we are talking about a vowel we will use an, and here we are using again island for the second time. So without any thinking more, we will be putting the with the same noun on the second time. Here we know that which island they are talking about. Now see the next sentence, we met dash Australian. So with the vowel sound for the first time and Australian. Now as we know that which Australian we are talking about for the second time. For the second time, the Australian could speak Hindi fluently. Now here you know that which Australian we are talking about, the Australian that we met. So what will come over here? The Australian could speak Hindi fluently. Now let us see the next sentence. Dash Ganga originates from dash Himalayas. So I told you when we are talking about the rivers or the Himalayas or the mountains or any of the thing that is one in its kind, we will be using the. So here in both the things we will be using the. The Ganga originates from the Himalayas. Okay. And one more thing, the is used where there is a plural noun also. We can use the with the plural also, whereas we cannot use a and an with the plurals. Okay. So let's move on to the next sentence. Have you read dash news in dash Times of India? So the specific news he is talking about, have you read the news in which is the paper? There is only one Times of India paper in India. Okay, so here we will be putting the. Now let us move on to the next page. Now here we will be talking about the punctuations. So dear students, I have always noticed this, that whenever punctuation part comes in the paper, students start asking the teacher, ma'am, what we have to do in this part, and you never remember that what actually punctuation means. So it should be very clear in your mind that what is punctuation. So punctuation is the use of spacing, conventional signs and certain typographical devices as aids to the understanding and correct reading of the written text. This means that we have to put the punctuation marks to make a sentence correct so that the text is easily understandable and can convey the complete meaning. That what does a sentence means? Sentence means that give you a complete information. So a sentence can be sentence only when it is properly punctuated. So to make a sentence understandable, it is very important to punctuate it properly. Otherwise, it is not a complete sentence. So two things that you should always keep in your mind while punctuating the sentences. First thing, that every sentence starts with a capital letter. Whether you are writing a paragraph, if you have ended a sentence, the next sentence will again start with a capital letter. So many students commit this mistake that they start the sentence with small letter. So it is a mistake that they always do. Here also you can see, so here also in this page you can see whichsoever sentence is there, it is starting with the capital letter only. Here also you can see every sentence is starting with a capital letter. So first thing in punctuation that you have to do, that start every sentence with the capital letter. Now the second thing that you have to keep in mind, that you should not leave it open. It should be closed with a full stop if it is a simple sentence, and a question mark if it is a question, and an exclamation mark if it is an exclamatory sentence. So the third thing that is important to keep in mind is the commas. So commas are put in a sentence where many options are given. Now the fourth thing that is important is the apostrophe, about which today we will be talking about. Now let us see where we have to use the apostrophe. The apostrophe is used to show that a letter or letters have been omitted. These are also called contractions. Now today we will be knowing about the fourth important thing, that is apostrophe. So what do you mean by apostrophe? Here, as you can see, that a comma on the top is called an apostrophe. Okay, where is this apostrophe used? To show that a letter or letters have been omitted. What do you mean by omitted? Omitted means deleted or cut. For example, left out. These are called contractions. So when some of the letters are cut out and by joining two of the words a new word is made, it is called a contraction. The two words are then placed together. For example, do not becomes don't. So here you can see in don't, an apostrophe is put over here and O has been omitted, right? In the similar way, there are two words should and not. So to make the contraction of should not, O again has been omitted from not and it has been combined together, and a single word is formed called shouldn't. Okay, so in the similar way, more of the contractions are there, like don't, I have, I will. So many words of contractions are there. You have to learn that which words have to be omitted and which words have to be joined for making the contractions. Now, where we use the second apostrophe? When we use nouns in their possessive forms. So possessive form means when it tells about that certain things belong to that particular person. This means that I don't have to say a long sentence like this pen belongs to Sheetal. So I have shortened it by saying Sheetal's pen. So contraction and possessive forms are basically used to shorten the sentences and to minimize the time. Okay. Now let us see where we have to use the apostrophe in the following sentences. Here you can read the first sentence. So in the first sentence, I do not like butter sandwiches. So what will be contracted in this sentence? Do and not. By making it a single word, we will contract it and write I don't like butter sandwiches. Okay. Now the second sentence is I have done my homework. Now which two words we can contract over here? So to make it a single word, you have to omit two alphabets from here, H and A, and it will be written like this, I, V, E. Now the third sentence is the trunk of the elephant is very long. Now as you can see that we are talking about something that belongs to elephant. So how we will be writing about the possession? I told you before. So we are talking about the elephant's trunk. So here the sentence will be like this. The elephant's trunk is very long. Okay. Now the next one is, are not there any toffees to distribute? So here again you have got one contraction to be done. Are and not are joined together and made a single word, aren't. So A-R-E and O is omitted, then comma and T. Always remember, whenever there is a contraction with the use of not, in that case we will be omitting only O from not and putting a comma in place. Okay, and the rest of the word will be same. So aren't. The mother of Suman told her to do her homework. So here we are talking about whom? We are talking about Suman's mother. So we will shorten this sentence by writing Suman's mother told her to do her work. Okay, like this. So I hope you got it. Now let us move to the next exercise, which is listen and tell. Here I will be reading a passage or a paragraph and you will be telling me that these sentences are true and false according to the passage or not. So my dear students, listening exercises are there to improve your listening skills. So I will be reading this passage only for once and you have to do it by yourself. Teamwork. Have you heard of this term before? When you work as a team, there are many points of view. You may agree with some of them, but also disagree with some. In order to bring out the best in your joint effort, you will have to be tactful and without being upset, do what everyone agrees on. The result at first may not be to your liking, but you must understand that it is probably the same with your teammates as well. This is called the team spirit. So students, now you have to read all the sentences and write whether the sentence is true or false. Now let's move on to the next page. So on this page we have got Be Creative portion. In Be Creative portion, you have lost the pen gifted to you by your grandfather. Write a notice to be put up on the school notice board describing the pen. Your description should be so accurate that the person who finds it get in touch with you immediately. So dear students, as last year also we had done the notice writing in 3rd standard. Again you have got a notice writing of lost. I hope you remember it. And if you have any problem in the notice writing, please go through my video of notice writing. It will be easy for you to recall it. Okay, now we will be doing this notice over here and I want you to write something of your own. Okay, I am just giving you a sample of it. So first of all, as we write the name of the school on the top in the capital letter, then the notice and then the date, and the format of date is day, month and year. It can also be written as month first and then date and the year. Then a catchy note over here like lost, 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 and if you have found something you can write found, found, found. So here the word is given to you to start. So we will start like this. Lost a what? Pen. It is an expensive black Parker pen with gold color cap. It has my name written on it also. It is very valuable for me as it was gifted by my grandfather. Whoever finds my pen is kindly requested to give it back to the undersigned during recess. Now who is the undersigned over here? You. So you will write your name and class in the end, and here you can also write a reward is promised if you are willing to pay something for it. Thank you, and your name and your class will come over here. So my dear students, please write a notice writing by your own. Now let us move to the next section, which is talk time. So in the talk time, what you have to do, you have to speak to improve your speaking skills. Now here is an activity given, a chain story. Frame a story using the following beginning. What you have to do, you have to chain this story. You can play at your home with your parents, with your grandparents, with your brothers and sisters. So what you will be doing here, you will be starting a story with this line. Once upon a time there lived a king, kind king. So the other person has to add on to it. Like you can say the king lived in Jaipur. So you can say that the king was having a huge army with camels, right? So you can keep on adding the sentences to it so that you are able to create more sentences. And remember that whenever you are making a story, it is to be made in the past tense. That's all for today. Thank you so much, dear students. We will meet again with the next chapter. Till then, bye-bye and have a nice day.